Welcome to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
Spartans! What is your profession? Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
It's time!
New Day with SSJ is presented by Walker Medical Linen Services, locally owned and operated, and HLAC certified to the highest standards. Walker has partnerships with hospitals, surgery centers, and medical clinics in and around the metro area. Walker Medical Linen Services in Kansas City and online at walkermls.com.
You ready for some football?
Buccaneers, Chiefs.
Running back is Rashad White after that 13-yard reception. 7-yard line of the Chiefs. Mayfield is under center. First and goal to go for the Buccaneers. 3 tight ends. The snap, the pitch, it comes to White. Runs laterally at the 10. Broke a tackle 5. Inside the pylon. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Beautiful play, terrific drive, 7-yard touchdown run, and the Buccaneers have gone up 6-3 early in the second quarter on the 2-time defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs. Third down, 8, Buccaneer 38, Mahomes in the gun, P. Ryan off his left hip. Looks into 5 in the secondary. Shotgun snap. They rush 4. Crumbling pocket. Maneuvering and throwing down the middle of the field. And at the 5, it was grabbed by Hopkins. How did he catch that ball? Leaping high. Triple teamed. 35-yard pickup on the hash down the middle at the 3. First and goal for the Chiefs. Wow. Mahomes in the gun, running back in motion, third down goal, shotgun snap, line drive throw, caught back of the end zone, and grabbed, touchdown under the crossbar by the leaping Hopkins. The Chiefs have scored on a Mahomes touchdown pass, and they've taken a 2-point lead late in the second quarter. And Hopkins has been at the very tip of their attack. Chiefs 11, Buccaneers 1st and 10, down by 3. Shotgun snap, Mayfield pump fakes, arching spiral, caught at the goal line, touchdown Auten. And the Buccaneers have taken the lead on the opening drive of the second half on an 11-yard touchdown pass from Baker Mayfield to the terrific emerging tight end, Cade Auten. And the clock at 11:36, and Tampa Bay goes up by 3. It's Mahomes in the gun, 7 of the Buccaneers, third down and goal. In the shotgun, looks at a 4-man front, down by 7, shotgun snap, crumbling pocket hit, broke away, running at the 10, far sideline 5, throws a pass in the end zone, underhand, it's caught by P. Ryan, it's a Chiefs touchdown pass. Buccaneer 5, Chiefs third and goal. In the shotgun, here's a 5-man rush and a quick throw and a belt-high catch by Hopkins and a touchdown at the goal line, he spun in. His second touchdown reception tonight, and the Chiefs have taken a lead with 4:17 to go on a 5-yard bullet, with Mahomes throwing his first career touchdown in a tie game in a fourth quarter in his career. Buccaneers 1 timeout. No, they're out of timeouts right now. Under center Mayfield, 2 tight ends, White the back. Mayfield under center, down by 7. Snap, spin, fakes the handoff, throws end zone, backpedaling catch in the corner, touchdown! Ryan Miller. An easy throw, a quick 6. And the Buccaneers are an extra point away from tying the game with 27 seconds in regulation. 3rd down and the length of a football. Mahomes will break huddle. Hunt in the backfield. Offset eye with Carson Steele. 3 tight ends. Touchdown wins it. Mahomes under center. Gets the snap. Spins. Hunt got the block. Running over the right guard. Touchdown Chiefs. They win it in overtime. 30-24. And they go to 8-0.
Very minor. We wanted to get it to overtime with the wet conditions on the field. We felt like we had to go into overtime instead of go for 2. So we had our shots. We lost the game.
I know in the past you've mentioned you had communication with upstairs about decisions, analytically, things of that nature. Did they advise you not to go for 2? What was...
No, we went for 1. We took our shots. We had our chances all game. We just lost the game. It didn't come down to that.
Coach Reed, were you surprised Todd Bowles didn't go for 2 there at the end of regulation?
No. But I'm glad he didn't.
You got over Patrick. What was your sense of what it might be, and how quickly did your concerns get eased?
Yeah. Well, when he was being carried off, I wasn't too easy with it. That was I wasn't sure exactly where he was going to be with it, but he might have the loosest ankles in America. It's ridiculous how he can come back from those things. Yeah. Well, he's got a lot of trust in him, and you've seen DeAndre make those catches over his career. Get 2 great players thrown to each other, sometimes great things happen. And so it's not the way we drew it up, but it was a good finish to it.
Yeah, I thought he was joking. He said it, and I was like, come on, we're not doing this again. He trusts me. And once the doctors checked it out and I was able to get back and do the drops again, he let me get back on the field. He's so good at winning one-on-one. And so to be able to have him down in the red zone, 3rd down situations, he does a good job of filling out and finding those windows. He's kind of like Travis does. I think as he figures out the whole entire offense, he'll get even better, because there's sometimes he's going places I'm like, man, there's a time and a place for that, but that's what makes him great. And then you give him a chance down the field and he makes a play. It goes from a play where it might have been a bad decision to a big-time catch.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. And yes, a very important Tuesday, November 5th, a day that this country has been waiting for months and months, a day that will decide so many things. The NFL trade deadline today at 3 o'clock. So we'll see what happens between now and then. Stephen St. John, Nate Bukaty, Jake Gutierrez, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Also, go vote. The Chiefs escaped Arrowhead Stadium last night. It wasn't easy, but it never is. They beat the Bucs 30-24 in overtime. The debut at Arrowhead Stadium of DeAndre Hopkins, and what a wonderful debut it was. He was incredible with 2 touchdown catches, one of the best catches that we've seen from a Chiefs wide receiver in some time. Triple covered and comes down with the football. Honestly, at Arrowhead and in the press box, the reaction was funny because people were shocked that he had the football, because we've been conditioned to watch Chiefs wide receivers not come up with that football. And when the dust settled and he stood up and he had the football, I'll remind him of this. I looked over at Jeff Chadia's face in the press box, and he was stunned. I was shocked. There was just this weird buzz at Arrowhead Stadium, like a hesitation before people decided to cheer because they just didn't realize that a wide receiver could make a contested catch. And nothing against the wide receivers that the Chiefs have, but this is why the Chiefs have been desperately chasing DeAndre Hopkins over the past several seasons. He does things that other guys on the roster can't do. 8 catches, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns on his 9 targets last night, and they're just scratching the surface of what they can do with DeAndre Hopkins. He has single-handedly made this team a better team in the red zone, a more dangerous team in the red zone. Unbelievable. DeAndre Hopkins was magnificent, and you can see why he's headed to the Hall of Fame and why the Chiefs have been chasing him via trade and free agency, and why they're so damn excited to have him on the roster. The Chiefs win 30-24 in overtime. You saw Patrick Mahomes after he had that scoop touchdown pass to Samaje Perine. And I talked to Samaje Perine after the game about that. But to see Patrick Mahomes on the field and not get up right away, and it was non-contact, and so the first thing you're thinking is, oh, boy, please don't let this be an Achilles. Please don't let this where's the replay? Let me see if I see that ripple that we've seen in the leg that oftentimes indicates it's an Achilles injury. Didn't see that. Lebo was being very positive in the press box, and I'll be honest with you, I was very nervous watching Patrick Mahomes as he gingerly made it to the sideline and into the blue injury tent, and I tried to update people as much as possible while that was happening as he emerged from the tent and he was walking on his own. And then he started to jog lightly up and down the sideline. And then he was playing catch with Carson Wentz, who was warming up just in case he needed to get in and go into the game. And then Mahomes started to just basically go through his dropbacks and test his ankle and see if he was all right. And then you saw him high-five a couple of teammates, and then he grabbed his helmet to get ready to go back on the field. And there was a collective sigh of relief at Arrowhead Stadium. But, boy, those were some nervous times, as we did not know how bad the injury was or if he was going to be out for a series or out for the game or whatever. But that would have been, obviously, a disaster. And thankfully, he's all right. I saw him after the game. There was there was a limp. Guess what? He hurt his ankle again. He was nursing a sprained ankle, and he re-injured it. He tweaked it, whatever you want to call it. He aggravated it, re-aggravated it. And so we'll see. That'll be a storyline as the week goes on. But Patrick Mahomes, clearly one of the toughest players in the NFL. I would expect to see him out there on Sunday at noon against the Denver Broncos. But that was close. And on the night, he goes 34-44, 291 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. So a very good night for Patrick Mahomes, throwing the football, very efficient. But my main takeaway from this game last night, we'll have a couple of them. Number one, whatever I thought of Baker Mayfield before the game, I think more of him now. And I thought a lot of Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is one hell of a quarterback. I told you yesterday that Cade Otton was the guy he was going to throw to over and over again. Weirdly and oddly enough, looking at social media, some people resisted that. Okay, well, whatever. Watch the game. Cade Otton, 8 catches, 77 yards, and a touchdown. After that, he's throwing to guys Sterling Shepard, Trey Palmer, local product Rachaad White, Bucky Irving, Raheem Jarrett, Sean Tucker, Ryan Miller. This guy's out there without his 2 top targets in Mike Evans, who by the way was having a spectacular year, and Godwin, who was having a spectacular year. And McMillan was a scratch late as he was questionable with a hamstring, and then he didn't suit up. He didn't play. And Baker Mayfield is turning in a season right now where he is leading the NFL in touchdown passes with 23. He does have 9 picks, but he's the definition of a gunslinger. After 9 games, he has almost 2,400 yards. You realize his completion percentage is 71.4%? He's completing 71.4% of his passes and has a league-leading 23 touchdown passes. And and look, are they going to make the playoffs? I don't know, but their offense has been decimated by injury. But, you know, we get so focused on what the Chiefs do and what the Chiefs don't do and get pissed off at the offense or the defense or the special teams. Sometimes we don't stop and give credit to the opposition. Baker Mayfield's a stud. And so, and look, in last year, he proved everybody wrong when he went to Tampa and delivered a really solid season where he had 28 touchdown passes, 10 picks, and threw for over 4,000 yards, 64% completion percentage. Led him to the playoffs. And you're thinking, wow, that's the guy that Cleveland gave up on. That's the guy that Carolina had for a while and said, we're going to go in a different direction. Then he had that weird brief stint with the Rams, and then he ends up at Tampa, and look what he's turned himself into. That dude's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, period. No qualifiers. He's just one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And so whatever I thought of Baker Mayfield going into the game, I think more of him now. And also, whatever I thought of the Cleveland Browns organization, which ain't much, it ain't much, I think even less of them now. Because they had him for several years. And I know that he had an injury at the wrong time, and the timing was terrible, but you had him for several years, and you had a chance to evaluate the kind of guy he is, how tough he is, the kind of leader he is. And I hear Samaje Perine talk about him from his days at Oklahoma. I heard Creed Humphrey last week when I emceed Creed Humphrey's charity event, talk about the kind of guy he was at Oklahoma. Everyone that's played with him or against him. I had a chance to interview him out in Lake Tahoe when he had signed with Tampa, and talking about how excited he was for that opportunity and what he thought he could do there. And he said it, but just an opportunity to go and prove everyone wrong. But you had that guy in your facility, you had that guy in your organization, and you misevaluated him, and you went and gave up the farm, the mansion, the beach house, the winter home, the ski lodge, and everything else for that version of Deshaun Watson and the unbelievable amount of baggage he brought with him to Cleveland. If you're a Cleveland Browns fan, I feel bad for you. But you don't have to guess why you suck. Your organization is a joke. An absolute joke. And I hope they watched Baker Mayfield and think, wait a minute. He won a playoff game for us. Wait a minute. He took the Browns into Arrowhead and led them to a competitive game against the Chiefs. What now? What happened? I get it. The injury, bad timing, and everything else, but the Browns are so stupid. How many different things do they have to do to show you that they are just a terribly run organization? They had their guy.
And they've tried 100 times to get their guy over the years.
They had their guy.
I mean, they failed everywhere. They finally got a good one.
And I just so again, I can't tell you how impressed I am with Baker Mayfield. It wasn't just last night. I've been watching him. So what? Nobody cares about my fantasy team. He's my fantasy backup or whatever. But I watch him. I like Baker Mayfield. I enjoyed interviewing him. I like watching him. You know, I enjoyed the interaction he had at the University of Kansas on the football field. There's a lot of things that lead me to enjoy Baker Mayfield. Okay, but that, you know, that dude with those skill position players was keeping Tampa in the game. And that drive at the end of the game to tie it, he balled out, which leads me to my biggest takeaway. Todd Bowles, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Unreal.
I always go by this, man. And I heard I'll give credit to Dylan Michaels. As I was driving home late last night after covering the game with Todd Lebo and Paige Winters out at Arrowhead Stadium, he made the comparison. Man, it's like you got a pitcher that's in the game that's just mowing people down, and for some reason the manager takes him out, and everyone in the other dugout's just relieved, like, oh, got that guy out of the game. Good God. It's not a perfect analogy, but I liked it.
Yeah.
Because it's the reaction that your opponent has. And let me tell you something. I was scared to death that they were going to go for two because they had the Chiefs defense reeling. They were on their heels. And I think you ask me what would have happened, who knows? But I think there's every chance that they score two, that they're successful, that they convert in a 2-point conversion. I really do. And and there was no hesitation. Even when they're driving down, when they're at midfield, I look to Lebo, I look to Pete Sweeney. If they score a touchdown, you going for two. Lebo without hesitation, oh yeah, they're going for two. Of course they're going for two. Pete Sweeney, of course they're going for two. I said, oh yeah, they got to go for two. They got to. They don't want to get in overtime with Mahomes and rely on a coin flip, because it doesn't matter what happens in regulation. If Mahomes gets his hands on the football in overtime, he's going to end this game. There's a very, very high probability of that happening.
Yep.
And you had the defense reeling. You had the defense; they appeared to be gassed. You know, you got the champ in the corner. You're landing haymakers, and then with, I don't know, and you know what? You might be able to stop the champ right here. He's hurt. He's staggered. You're landing uppercut, body blow, overhand right. Oh my God. Is the champ going to be able to make it to the end of the fight? Then with about 30 seconds left, you think, I'm going to take my foot off the gas and leave it up to the judges. See how they score it. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And I'm sure there's some people out there, oh, that's what you got to do. You got to play for overtime. No. Not against that team and not against that quarterback, not in that stadium. No, you don't. And all I can tell you, I've got different perspectives here. I'm up there covering the game, and then also I can view it. I can do more than I can do. I can do multiple things, multitasker, and then I can view it as a Chiefs fan. Just absolute relief as I see the special teams unit and the kicker coming on the field. Like, whew, they're not going for two. Oh boy, thank God. Amen.
Yep.
Thank you, Todd Bowles. And his bizarre the wet conditions. What?
I don't.
What?
I wish somebody would have followed up there.
Is the offense the only? They're only. You think that doesn't affect the defense?
It didn't seem to hurt the offense as they
minor.
drove.
We wanted to get it to overtime with the wet conditions on the field. We felt like we had to go in overtime instead of go for two.
What?
So we.
What?
Did the wet conditions hurt them as they drove right down the field?
Well, the
for that
thing is,
touchdown?
the wet conditions just started. Right after they scored the touchdown.
What?
Right now, they dealt with the wet conditions the whole drive,
I asked,
the whole time.
And I asked 2 or 3 guys in the locker room after the game, did the wet conditions bother you? No, not really. Once you got used to them.
Right.
Kareem Hunt should find that. Kareem Hunt was interviewed by Kevin Harlan after the game on Westwood One, and Kevin Harlan asked him about getting things going, what do you have? 90 yards in the second half, whatever it was, and Kareem Hunt said that I had to change my cleats to adjust, and once he did, he all right. Well, yeah. Now he didn't say, "Well, I had to adjust right before overtime." No, he did that at halftime. Okay, Todd Bowles. By the end of the fourth quarter, the wet conditions aren't really a problem anymore. And the players pretty much told me that after the game. But what a lame excuse that is. What a lame decision and a lame excuse. Are you kidding me? Great. I'm glad. And guess what? His quarterback, who was hot. Let me ask you, did you want to see Baker Mayfield with the ball in his hands one more time?
Everybody in my house was like, oh, they're going to go for 2, aren't they? No.
Jake, who at times can be a contrarian, Jake, did you feel comfortable with Baker Mayfield getting one more crack at the end zone there?
No. I mean, I was totally relieved. I mean, I think I sent out on our text chain, dummies.
No, you texted and you said, with these conditions, you got to kick it.
You got it. Look, the percentage of converting that 2-point it's 41%, right? That's the conversion rate for a 2-point conversion, 41%, right? You're gonna go to the coin flip? It's 50-50?
I think I might up that, man, because
well, I'm just saying,
right.
Statistically speaking, that it's 41.7%.
But
I'll take that.
I'll tell you. At the end of the game, when the defense is gassed and they just gave up a touchdown like that, in the 2-minute drive, you know what I mean? A little different,
Oh, absolutely.
Got them on their heels.
What I'm saying is, you take that. You're
right.
You're against the champs at their place.
But I feel like it's higher, is my point.
Probably.
In that situation, I feel like there's right.
You got the momentum. Oh, the momentum swings it.
Right.
Absolutely. But that's just the numbers. Even if you're looking at the numbers and you take that, give me that chance. You got one play to win the game.
I couldn't believe it.
Are you gonna go to a coin flip?
I couldn't believe. I'm glad.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm glad. And Andy Reid had the perfect response, because Andy, he's not gonna say anything that sounds like he's second guessing another coach or showing up another coach. But you could almost see him saying this, and then with a little wink. It should be a sound effect, like a ding, with a little wink.
A little twinkle in his eye.
Yeah, that's right. With a little twinkle in his eye at the end when he was asked if he was surprised that the Bucs didn't go for 2.
Coach Reid, were you surprised Todd Bowles didn't go for 2 there at the end of regulation?
No. But I'm glad he didn't.
That's right. Yeah. I'm glad he didn't. Oh, I'm real glad he didn't.
All the media's like, oh.
Right. Because it's true.
Right.
He's right.
Yes.
I think we all agree, right?
Even Troy Aikman did
believe it. Huh? Was that?
Even Troy Aikman was like, you got to go for 2 here. I mean, he doesn't usually even have that many opinions about stuff like that, but he was.
I was stunned. I was stunned into overtime, and I'm watching, and as soon. Did you see Baker Mayfield's reaction when they lost the coin flip? Like, we lost the game. All
yep. Right. Well, that was 4 hours.
Right. Here I go to the shower. He goes, he knew.
Yeah.
He knew.
I'm not touching the ball again.
But, and as you're watching it, you're like, this is like, the Bucs aren't stopping him. The Bucs are not stopping him. This game's over.
I mean.
And and then I'm thinking, I can't wait I can't wait to hear what Todd Bowles said. And I'll be honest with you, that excuse wasn't on my mind. To me, and maybe I'm the dummy, what a nonsensical excuse. It was nighttime. It's starting to get dark. Like, I don't like what the wet conditions. Like, what? Did you just see what your offense did? And you have the defense on the ropes, and they're gassed, and they're on their heels. And did the Chiefs defense look good on that drive? No, they look like they just And you got them, and you're in a play calling rhythm, and you just everything's happening. Baker Mayfield, Baker, wet, ball's wet, mud.
I just don't know what that. I just don't know what the conditions.
I don't.
I don't know what they like. How.
Okay.
Does that mean they think the Chiefs are more likely to turn the ball over when they get it back? Are they less likely to convert because the field's wet? Like, what do the conditions do that change?
I don't know. I don't know.
And then when they asked the follow-up, about the analytics, like, he goes, no, we went for one. Yeah, no, we know you went for one. Like, we got that part.
But okay.
We can't believe you did. We want to know why.
And then if people agree with the decision, then we just have our philosophies are different. Because you are the underdog. You have fought your ass off to be in that situation. And then you get one play to beat the champs. And momentum's on your side.
Mm-hmm.
And you pass on the opportunity. And you never get another chance again. Good for the Chiefs. And the Chiefs took advantage. I'm shocked the Chiefs didn't win. I thought that was going to end with a long field goal. The Chiefs didn't capitalize there, but they got the ball in overtime, and the rest is history. Over. Chiefs win in overtime over Tampa. Back after this on WHB.
Stephen St. John.
I'd like to explain something. I ain't punchy. I got what you call, a relaxed brain, but I ain't punchy, It's just the way I talk.
You are listening to A New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
By the way, super impressed also that DeAndre Hopkins at 10:54 p.m. had already posted a highlight reel of himself from Monday Night Football. Remember the Titan style, soundtrack and all. I mean, that's quick work. Within an hour of coming off the field. Did you guys see that?
He's got to have a person. I saw that, but he's got to have someone working for him. Someone put that together for him.
Yeah, but I mean, just that's quick work.
Yeah, it's nice. Well done.
That's quick work.
Hey, look, he obviously doesn't need a lot of time to get up to speed on anything.
No, the only guys that went to the podium last night were,
you think he was in the locker room doing cap cut and
Mike. He could have been.
Yeah, right.
Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and DeAndre Hopkins. I'm just telling you. Look, you say what you want. I get it. It's not up to the other teams, right, that are out of it to prevent the Chiefs from three-peating. But if you had this weird narrative that DeAndre Hopkins is washed up and he doesn't get enough separation and he's not going to fit in the offense and blah blah blah. Just like last year, he had 70-plus catches and over 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns. Last year. We're not talking about, but 3 years ago. No, last year. And if you've watched him, I don't know, at any point in his career, and you couldn't dream up a way that he could fit in with the Chiefs offense, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. But let me tell you this. It took a game and a half for Mahomes to get to the level of, F it, D-Hop down there somewhere. I'm throwing it. Because Patrick Mahomes don't like throwing those passes. You know why? Because his receivers don't like catching them. The Chiefs receivers over the last couple of years have done a lot of nice things. Coming up with contested catches ain't one of them. And he does not trust them to put it up there for them to. Why would he? Triple covered somehow. And you know what? The throw was great and the catch was great.
Yes.
But to have the trust to say, I'm just going to throw it. And then he comes down with it. And then now in the red zone, how many times have the Chiefs frustrated you in the red zone? And then twice, D-Hop, touchdown. If you're the rest of the league and you're looking at that, you know what you're thinking. Why did the Titans trade him to the Chiefs? How did the Chiefs have him? How did this happen? Well, it's not up to the Titans to stop the Chiefs from going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
All right? Guess what? You know what you should have done? Go make a better offer. All right? Go trade for D-Hop yourself. But you didn't. A lot of receivers switched franchises leading up to this trade deadline today. And then a lot of, I don't know. I don't know who's going to be more successful, Amari Cooper in Buffalo, Devontae Adams of the Jets. I didn't hear many people saying D-Hop with the Chiefs, but guess what? That narrative is going to change in all these dummy debate shows that people watch on TV today. All of a sudden, there's going to be, this DeAndre Hopkins of the Chiefs, match made in heaven, when 2 or 3 weeks ago, DeAndre Hopkins doesn't have anything left. He is not the kind of guy that fits in this offense. So guess what? Here's my takeaways. DeAndre Hopkins has a lot left.
Yeah.
And he does fit in the offense. when you got a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes and a play caller like Andy Reid, they'll find a way. It looked all right, didn't it?
It did. And there's two things that you can tell what Mahomes said that he trusts Hopkins to do that he hasn't been able to trust any wide receivers really, other than maybe Rashee Rice here lately. He trusts him to come up with that catch, but he also trusts him to win his one-on-one battles. That's what he said on the postgame on the field right afterwards. Said he's already shown me that he's going to win his one-on-one matchup. So there's a trust that's already there in just a couple games. Dude, it's crazy to think about this. Before the season started, if I had sat here and been like, hey, you know what? By the time you get to week 8, Kareem Hunt's going to be running for 100 yards, and DeAndre Hopkins is going to have a couple touchdown passes for the Chiefs on Monday Night Football later this year. I mean, it's crazy what's happened this season.
It's only 1 minute long, Jake. I sent you DeAndre Hopkins after the game on the field, and D-Hop, you can hear the emotion in his voice. You can hear the emotion in his voice when he's talking about this opportunity that's been given to him. It's the video right before the Todd Bowls. Here is DeAndre Hopkins on the field after the game.
Responsible for 2 touchdowns today. How would you describe what this night was like for you?
Honestly, words can't describe it. Been patient. This is a dream come true to get my first win in a stadium like this, on a team like this. Just got to keep building the momentum.
You had more time this week before the game to get ready. What do you think allowed for your involvement in this offense tonight?
The way these coaches help you prepare day in and day out. I come in early, I leave late. So, the coaches, it's not just me, it's everybody, just preparing me to come out here and be successful.
And what is it like catching these passes from Patrick Mahomes? You had some great catches tonight, but some great throws from him too.
I mean, I manifested this. I seen this already. If my mom, we knew this day would come, and I'm just being present in the moment.
Enjoy it.
Thank you.
I like D-Hop very much. I like the fact that he mentioned his mom. That's how you get me. But, I mean, he's just... I just can't believe they have him. And what's really cool, too? And Phil, you may or may not know this, but, like, for the last 10 years since he was, he's my boy. He loves football. Phil's favorite receiver has been DeAndre Hopkins, and he loves DeAndre Hopkins. And every time they'd almost get DeAndre Hopkins, it wouldn't. He'd get super pissed, right, or upset, or disappointed. And I don't know if you follow Phil on his IG. Like, he had some one post, I still can't believe they got D-Hop. And so then last night I just texted him. I said, do you like D-Hop? And his response was, yes. And so, I know how excited he is, and I get a kick out of that. But, I mean, I just know how excited I am. I'm watching that. I go, I can't believe this. I can't believe they got him. And for what they got him for.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
He looks different than all the Chiefs wide receivers. Like, when he's lined up, he just looks different.
Right. He's one of the best receivers of his era.
He's longer, he's leaner, he's opener.
Like that move he made was in an overtime when he caught the pass.
Yeah.
And had that turn and boom. Jake, you're a long-time fantasy insider. I mean, how excited? Like, what did that do to you to see D-Hop last night putting on that show?
I mean, he's a game changer. I mean, that's what the guy is. And this team hasn't had, sure, Kelsey is a game changer as well. But in terms of a wide receiver, they haven't, Rashee Rice was turning into that, right? We were seeing the beginning of, at the end of last season, we were seeing Rashee Rice turn into this. And at the beginning of this year, that's what he was. But, Tyreek Hill, game changer. Rashee Rice, game changer. And you see what they can do when they have a guy like Patrick Mahomes throwing them the ball. I mean, that's.
And also, by the way, Kareem Hunt was a beast last night in the second half and in the overtime. Got over 100 yards, walk-off touchdown. Beast mode. Unbelievable. You know. Chiefs win 30-24. Was it perfect? No, it wasn't. They had to go to overtime. It's a struggle. But again, when the target's on your back, every week they're coming after you. Every week, teams are going to be up because they're trying to beat the two-time defending champs. And you're playing a desperate Tampa team that needed to win. By the way, again, with a hell of a quarterback in Baker Mayfield. And again, the Chiefs just find a way to get it done. We'll take a break. Back into this on WHB.